The church has done a very foolish thing these days. It has essentially, in so many words, divorced the idea of believing in Jesus from following him. In other words, when the Bible, this book right here, it presents a lot of things, a lot of terms as synonymous, like worshiping God and loving him is the same as obeying him and following him closely, being a disciple, in other words. But the church has separated these terms all out, almost as if, you can make it to heaven as long as you believe. You believe in the cross, you believe in the resurrection, you say you believe in God, you're in. Doesn't matter if you're a disciple, doesn't matter about anything else. Where the Bible and Christ himself paint a totally different picture than that. I challenge you to read the scriptures and see for yourself. You cannot, my friend, you cannot separate all this stuff out and divorce them from each other. Believing has to go with behaving. They go together. And they cannot be separated. You cannot, in other words, it's impossible to make it to heaven without being a disciple of Christ. It's almost like what the Apostle John said in his letters, that to be a Christian is to walk as he walked, to walk as Christ did. It of course, doesn't mean that we're going to be absolutely perfect in every way and everything every day, but it certainly means that you're growing in holiness, that you're going from a baby in Christ to maturity. You're moving in the right direction. Like somebody has said, long obedience in the same direction, in the right direction on the path of life. But don't let anybody deceive you. You cannot separate this stuff out and say, oh, the discipleship is only for the hardcore Christians. The really good guy, the really good people, pastors and stuff like that. That's not true at all. That is the only way to heaven, is to, yes, to believe, but also to be a disciple of Christ. Didn't Jesus say the same thing himself when he was on earth? If any man would come after me. In other words, he was saying, if any man wants a relationship with me, wants to make it to heaven, to be right with God, yes, let him believe, but let him deny himself, take up his cross daily and follow me. Continue in my word, in other words. Be wise. Don't make it your ambition, or don't be so relaxed that you're sinning every single day in word, in thought, in deed, all the time. No, we are to give ourselves to righteousness, to being slaves to God. As somebody who has well said, there is no freer man than the one who has made himself a slave to the perfect master.